The story is based on something that really did happen in the early 90s about a guy who was under the impression that he could manipulate the entire bond market in America. It was a foolproof plan for 15 minutes, and then he got caught. He was such a scammer, a hustler, and it's the kind of character like this charming guy who gets away with everything. Deep down, he's pretty much a lowlife. So I think it makes for a very interesting story. And it shows a lot of the trading floors, what was happening on the floors, you know, the bar out back after the day is closed, and, you know, the life.
Why did you take up writing as a profession?
I was someone who, I was always an avid reader. I mean, like 2 books a month. I liked writing. I enjoyed writing. I used to be the one, people would say I had a way with words. So I'd help people with their toasts. I'd help people sometimes with business presentations for sales meetings or stuff like that. I had this story in my head, my original book, my first book. It's sort of strange. I walked around with the story in my head for like 10 years. And if I was stuck in traffic or something, I'd say like, oh, what would happen this time? What would happen to this character? Finally, my wife convinced me. I went to the New York Writers Studio, and I lied and said I was intermediate. So everyone else was published except for me. But when we went around the table with our little assignments every week, mine was just as good as theirs. And, there was no one was applauding or weeping or anything, but I felt like I was at the same level as people who've been published. So that is what gave me the impetus to just start going for it. And really, but I was working, as you see behind me, I used to work on the trading floor, then I was working as a financial advisor. Nights, weekends, I would always be writing, and it just ended up snowballing,
Why is it important for stories about the financial markets to be written by financial market professionals?
Because what I hear every time when I tell people I used to work on the trading floor, they'd always say, boy, it seems crazy. Everybody's yelling and screaming. How do you make any sense of it? But as we know, you're focused in what you're doing, and the guy next to you could be doing something else. There's this built-in, there's drama, there's greed, there's avarice, there's violence, there's drug use, there's action. There's so many ingredients. And I look at it as no difference than, say, like a hospital TV show or a police TV show. There is this exciting career at the core of it, but people that work there all have their own little life.
Which of your stories is your favorite?
6 novels, 2 short stories. It's hard for me to choose. My first 3 were financial thrillers, and they were all, a series of 3. And it was sort of based on, the opening scene is my experience during 9/11. I think that was the more personal story. And, when I worked on the floor, the heart of the story is someone stealing a little bit of money from a lot of people. Like, remember like Spear Leads, or one of these companies that would be trading, clearing firm for thousands of traders. I had found out someone was skimming small amounts of money out of people's trading sheets. So I just expanded it to say, you could steal $4.87 from 15,000 people every day, and no one would notice it. So that was the theme of that story. But with all that said, my favorite story is in another series called Harlem Rhapsody. It's a historical fiction series, but Harlem Rhapsody takes place during the Harlem Renaissance. It was so much fun writing it. I had all this research material. I put on the Spotify jazz station. I listened to music, and I was writing about, Duke Ellington's debut at the Cotton Club, the gangsters, Otto Rothstein, and all these people. It really was a lot of fun. So that was my most enjoyable writing. And it was an Amazon bestseller.
What is Mogator Media Capital?
Well, that's Danny Sullivan's company. He brought me on board. The idea is to, first of all, create content focusing on the financial industry and to attract investors and to solicit investors and to get these stories put to film. I think we have a number of things. It's a script we're working on that's going to be posted on your site. But I also have that first book I mentioned, during 9/11. That's a financial thriller. So we have some content. I think it's an untapped area. Like I said, it could be like one of those hospital dramas or police dramas. It's an exciting, vibrant business world And also a world that's sort of over now. Now it's just people on computer keyboards. But so that's the idea, to bring your stories forward, get them put to film, and that's really it. That's the goal.